I know I talk a lot on this show on why you shouldn't do certain races, why you should no longer race with certain companies, but this week I am switching it up. Let's talk my top 10 race picks and why you should do them. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Runway Podcast. I am your host Kim, and if this is your first time listening, welcome to the show. If you are a return listener, welcome back. I truly appreciate you. You know, every time I start this show, I say, hey everybody. And if you are watching this show, I do also put this show up on my YouTube channel, Straight Kim. You can see my new Hey Everybody t-shirt. So these shirts will be on sale shortly. So if you want to support me and the Runway Podcast, you will be able to purchase this tee and others like it on therunwave.com very soon. So before I get into the full scope of today's episode, I just want to preface this by saying that these races that I am going to mention are races that I have done myself, that I have, for the most part, enjoyed, and races that I would recommend to others to do. But being that we are currently going through a global pandemic, I'm not saying that you should go out and register for these races unless you are okay with doing a virtual race, because we know that racing has been canceled. Even just recently this week, the Miami Marathon was actually last week, the Miami Marathon was canceled, which is like the first big race of the year, and they have now gone virtual. So I like these races, but I don't recommend that you register for these races unless you are comfortable doing a virtual race. Because not all of them, but a lot of these races, I have looked them up for 2021. Some of them are virtual already. Some of them are still saying that they are having an actual in-person road race. So I just wanted to give that preface, and don't say, well, Kim recommended me run this race and now it's canceled. So I'm telling you up front, there is a possibility that your race can go virtual. So, you know, if it's at the end of 2021 and you like registering early, me personally, I'm not registering early for any races. I'm registering probably a month out, if not sooner. But if you're the type of person that likes to register early, have at it. So let's get into my top 10 race choices that you should consider doing. So these races are in no particular order. I'm just giving you my top 10 race choices that I recommend you do. So I'm going to start out with the Gasparilla Distance Classic, which is in Tampa, Florida. Now, I ran this race in February of 2016, and I think this was like my second out-of-town race that I've ever done. I believe the first one was a Black Girls Run event that was in North Carolina. I don't remember what year that was, but yeah, I think this was my first big race weekend that I participated in. So the Gasparilla Distance Classic, they have all race distances. They have a 5K, a 10K, a 15K, a half marathon, and I think they have a marathon as well. Now, the great thing about this race is that the races are stretched out over the weekend. But if you sign up for the Distance Classic events, meaning that you're doing more than one event, then you are racing 1 to 2 races per day. So when I did the race, I ran the 5K event. I ran the 15K event, and if you're watching this at home, I'm just showing you the medals for these events. So if you're listening to the podcast, which I appreciate, make sure you head over to YouTube so you can watch it and take a look at these dope medals that I'm showing you as well. I also did the half marathon, and they gave the cutest, not cutest, it's a little weird, but a pirate medal and the mouth moves. And then you get a bonus medal if you do, depending on what challenge you sign up for. So the bonus medal is really big. It's pretty cute. It goes with the Gasparilla theme with, the pirate and the what is this? A skeleton. It is a little freaky, but it's cute as well, and it goes with the theme. So the thing that I like about this race, it is very well organized. They have a great expo in a convention center. They give you a cute jacket depending on what challenge that you sign up for. So the jacket is cute. The Finish Line Festival was dope. Now, to get into my good graces, you need to have food at your finish line. Food is like just my joy. So this race had so much food. Like, I'm talking about big, huge plates of food, and everything was free. They had free beer, and I'm not a beer drinker. I never drink the beer. I give my beer tickets away. Y'all need to start having some vodka at these races. Some vodka and some cognac. If you had some of that, I'll be lined up all day at the liquor stand. But yeah, as usual, they give away beer at this race. I skipped that part, but plenty of people love that part of the race. Now, this race is in Tampa, and Tampa I did not like so much. So me and my friends, we went out for lunch at one of the restaurants not too far from the hotel that we were staying at. And when we walked in to the restaurant, we were standing there waiting to, say hello, you want a table, blah, blah, blah. And we stood there for what seemed like 15 minutes. It was probably like 10 minutes or so. And no one ever said anything to us. And we're just standing, and the restaurant wasn't busy at all. There was like 2 tables that were seated in that restaurant. So they weren't busy. There was no reason why they should not have served us. So when someone came over to us and said, has anyone helped you? And we're like, no, we're standing here looking around like a bunch of fools, and no one has said anything to us. So finally, a server came over, she seated us. And when we sat down and no one came over to take our order. So the gentleman came up to us again, and he's like, has anyone taken your order? And we were like, no. And then we're sitting here, and, my friends were like, we're not feeling this place, and it kind of feels racially motivated. And at first I didn't feel that way, but when I looked around, we were the only Black people in that restaurant, and we were the only ones that were not being served. So they weren't busy. I don't know what it was, but we got up and left because we're not patronizing a restaurant that doesn't want us there. So I'm not going to name the restaurant, but that's what kind of soured my experience of Tampa. But the race was good. The scenery is great. It's in a coastal, kind of town. It's in a wealthy town. So you're running by mansions, and, it was just a good time. So Gasparilla, the race, is okay with me. Tampa, the city, I'll pass on that. But Gasparilla, if you're looking for a race in Florida, definitely check that one out. Now, number 2 on my list is the St. Jude's Marathon in Memphis, Tennessee. Now, I did this race just this past December, last December, December 7th, 2019. And this was actually my first time visiting Memphis and the state of Tennessee. So I didn't quite know what to expect. But I did the half marathon of this race. It was a very nice course. It was scenic through downtown Memphis. We actually ran through the St. Jude's campus where the hospital is located. And if you don't know about St. Jude's, I know we see a lot of St. Jude's in our race registrations asking if we want to donate $1 to the hospital. So if you didn't know, St. Jude's is a cancer hospital for children. They provide free care for children. So there's no expenses for families that have children that are sick with cancer. They even relocate families from the state that they're in so that their child can get medical care at St. Jude's, all free of charge. So if you're ever in the giving mood, St. Jude's is a great charity to give to, and they also participate in many races, and they raise a ton of money at this race in December. So that is one of the things that endeared me to this race. The course was great. The medal was great. The post-race festivities were amazing. Let me tell you, They had food. Y'all know I love food. They had hot, it was cold that weekend. They had hot soup. They had Domino's pizza. They had beer. They had soda. They had hot cocoa. They had everything. So I like the fact that they really take care of their runners, and they know that a lot of people raise money for this charity. In addition to their race fees, people raise money for these charities. Two of my good friends, Dawn and Janice, they raise tirelessly every single year for St. Jude's. And they are one of the reasons that I actually did the race, because I know that they were doing it for years. I needed to run Tennessee, so I did it. Another good thing about St. Jude's is that there is a ton to see in Memphis. Memphis is the home of Graceland, which is Elvis's home where he stayed at. I was able to visit Graceland, and if you go during a certain time, I don't remember which time it is, but it's in the morning, and I think on Sunday, you can walk up to Graceland. You can't go in the house, but you can walk up to the memory fountain, and you can see that free of charge. This is a little morbid, but Elvis's grave is there, his parents are there, and his twin that passed on. So it's a beautiful setting. You can go check that out for free, or you can pay and go inside his mansion during whatever hours. You can look on the Graceland website for that. Also in Memphis is Beale Street, and oh my God, it has some of the best barbecue that I have ever had. Y'all see I'm greedy, right? Your girl is greedy. I like to eat. But oh my God, it has some of the best barbecue ribs ever. Talking about full off the bone good with cornbread, corn on the cob, just delicious food. And the music, it's Beale Street, it's Memphis, the jazz music. There was a live jazz band. So if you're in Memphis, definitely go check out Beale Street as well. It is a great old time. And also in Memphis is the Lorraine Motel and the Civil Rights Museum, which is where Dr. King was unfortunately murdered. But I was able to visit there as well and tour the museum. And it was just an unbelievable experience, because you see these things on television, but to witness it live and in living color is just it was just incredible, and it was just moving to me. I was actually able to go, and you can't go inside because they have it blocked off, but you can see his room where he was the last day that he walked the face of this earth. And you can even go across the street, which is it's a little morbid, but you can go into the room where Lee Harvey Oswald actually took the shot from. It's just a piece of history that a lot of us don't get to see, and we need to see where these things have happened and just know our history and our culture. So when I do these out of town races, I always like to, I don't just go to run and leave. I always like to take in the culture and see the city from a tourist perspective, because I'm a tourist. So it's great for me to see the city, what happened there, and just to experience it for myself, and just, to have a good time. So that wasn't it wasn't necessarily a good time to go there, but it was great to know and see our history, Black history. Next up, I had the Detroit Free Press Marathon. This was also my first time going to the state of Michigan, and I ran this race last year as well in October of 2019. And this race is pretty dope because you get to run into Canada. Now, you run over this huge bridge. Forgive me, but I don't remember the name of the bridge. But you do run over this. And let me tell you, I was doing good on that race until I hit that doggone bridge. And that must have been like at mile 3 or 4. And it is just like a straight, steep incline, and God, I was running as best as I could. After a while, I just said, forget this, I'm just gonna walk up the rest of this bridge. But yeah, the bridge is dope. You run across the bridge, you run into Canada, and you're running through Canada for like, I think 3 or 4 miles, and then you run through a tunnel to get back into Detroit. And let me tell you, that tunnel was blazing hot. I was sweating bricks. If I can find the video, I'll stick it in here so you can see it. My whole face was drenched running through that tunnel. But that was the first time I've ever run through a tunnel. We always drive through tunnels. So, that was a great experience to go through. The expo was just, and the expo was okay to me. It wasn't really much there, but this race is humongous. When I tell you, I don't know how many corrals there were, but shh, don't tell anybody. But I moved up in corral because it takes a long time. They do the corrals, they do a whole pop and circumstance, they play music, and they let each corral go, and then the next corral has to wait. So I ended up moving up in my corral so that I could start the race earlier because I just didn't want to sit back and wait. And it was chilly that morning. It's Michigan, it's by the water, it's near Canada. It was cold, that morning. So standing around waiting for the race to start was not the move. The other thing that I didn't really like about the race was the parking. And this is not the race, this is just, the logistics. You have to get downtown extremely early, and the parking was extremely confusing. We ended up parking in the MGM Hotel. They have like a tall parking facility. So we parked in there, and we were able to just stay in the lobby of the hotel and stay warm and use the bathroom. So that's a tip if you're going to do the Free Press Marathon. I know that it just passed and it was virtual. So hopefully it will happen in 2021. It's at the end of the year. So hopefully COVID will be, not over, but somehow manageable by then. So if it is, I think Detroit is a good race that you should tackle. Motown is also in Detroit. I actually visited Motown, and it was really cool, I want to say really cool because they don't let you take pictures of anything, which sucks, but it was nice to visit Motown. There's a Berry Gordy Way. You could take a picture under his sign, and, it was a good experience. It wasn't free, but now you can take pictures inside Motown. I got an email a few months ago that they now allow that. I'm like, dang, y'all wait until after I visit Motown to take pictures, but they do have one room in the studio of Motown that you can go in. That's the only room that you can take pictures in Motown. But it's just great to see where Diana Ross made music, Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder, all the greats were in that building, and I had a chance to go in that building and see it as well. Also in Detroit, they have a beautiful aquarium on Belle Island. So when I was there, I rented a car. We didn't stay downtown because, listen, the prices for Detroit hotels are ridiculous, like $300-400 a night. I'm like, this is not Manhattan. Why are the hotel rooms so much? So I stayed a little outside of the city by the airport, and we rented a car. And renting a car is sometimes a way to go because it's easier for you to explore. You don't have to worry about paying for Ubers. Renting a car is super cheap, like $40 for the weekend. So that allowed us to see different things. We saw the aquarium, the arboretum, all very beautiful on Belle Island. So if you get a chance to visit Detroit, make sure you check that out. And I'm just trying to give you guys different, tips and tricks of things that I do and how I travel for races. So hopefully, when you go, you're just not going for running. You're going to explore and take in your surroundings as well. I do have a blog post about the Detroit Free Press Marathon. Actually, quite a lot of these races, I blogged them. I did go through a period when I didn't blog, so some of them I don't have blog posts about. But I'm going to leave the blog post under the race name. So if you want to check out my experience, if you want to read about my experience, you could just scroll down right now and you can click on that to read about it there. Number 4 on my list is the Narragansett Summer Running Festival, and I mentioned this race in my last episode, and I really enjoyed this one. It was right outside of Boston. We stayed overnight in Boston, and it's just a really small race. I think it was like under 1,000 people, and it's close to Boston. That's convenient. They had race day packet pickup, which was nice. The post-race festival, it was a really small. Let me tell y'all, the race started in a freaking parking lot behind someone's apartment building. So it was a rinky-dink small race, but I liked it because the town was, everyone was so friendly. And I mentioned this in the last episode that I don't usually stop at water stations that aren't affiliated with the race. This race was in the summertime. I was burning up and I took a drink of water from someone that had a table set up outside of their house on the street. I was that thirsty, and I'm always paranoid about taking things from people that aren't affiliated with the race, but I felt safe enough in that town only because when we first started that race, I saw a church with a LGBT flag outside, and that made me say that this town was okay with me, because we were only a handful of Black folks in that town in the race. So when you're one of the only ones, you always have a little bit of a guard. I wasn't scared or anything, but always a little bit of a guard up. And we're just, when you're brown, you're aware of your surroundings and you just move accordingly, and that I did. But I felt safe enough in this town to drink from a stranger, and I'm still here, so it was okay. But the post-race festival was good. They had music. They didn't have a lot of food. They had Kool-Aid in the Capri Sun containers. I drank a bunch of those. I needed those. It was hot. It wasn't good post-race sustenance, but it was good at that time. And it was just a good race. They had beer. Everyone has beer. Why do y'all all have beer? Please give me some hard liquor. Sometimes I want some hard liquor when I finish a doggone race. I don't want any beer. But they had beer if you're into that sort of thing. And it was just a good race to do if you're looking to run Massachusetts, and it's close to the tri-state area if you're in the area and want to drive, or you can fly there. I definitely recommend that race. It's canceled for 2020. There's not much on the website there, and there's no info on 2021. So I'll put the link of the race website below if you want to keep an eye on it. But as of right now, I don't know what's happening for this race in 2021, but it was a goodie. And if it does come back, I definitely recommend that you do it. Next up is the Delaware Marathon Running Festival. And y'all probably like, how many doggone out-of-state races has this girl run? Yes, I am an experienced runner. I'm not the fastest one out there, but I have plenty of experience under my belt. So I am running a half marathon in the 50 states. So I've just been checking these states off every year for a while. And I did this one in October of 2016. So a couple years ago. This is also like a marathon weekend event. So I did the 5K, which was on a Saturday, and I did the half marathon as well, which was on Sunday. And if you do their Daredevil challenge event, I don't know if that's what they still called it, but that's what they called it, then you get an extra bonus medal. And this year it was so cute. It had a little devil on it. Is a devil even cute? But this one was actually pretty cute, and it was the bonus for doing the half marathon and the 5K. You also got the bonus for doing the 5K and the marathon. Cons for this race: I did drive in, but we stayed overnight because there's no race day packet pickup. So one of my friends actually came in as well, but he came in Saturday morning. So I picked up his packet for him, and he was able to do it that way. So if you don't know someone that's doing the race, then you have to see if they have a mail-in option, or you have to get there Friday to pick up your packet before the race starts that weekend. So the course of the race is nice and scenic, not too hilly. It was up and down, but it goes through residential neighborhoods. It goes through beautiful parks. So I had no qualms about the race route. It was actually really nice. And this race is put on by Corrigan Sports, which also organizes the Baltimore Running Festival, which I've been trying to do for years, but sometimes always evades me. I think that's the one with the crab medal. So yeah, I've heard pretty much nothing but good things about that race. So I will get to it eventually when we start racing again. But yeah, they have a good post-race festival. And when I say good, I mean good. I mean, it didn't have a lot of food. I always remember the food, but it did have a beer area. Oh my God, this is my cup of water that I'm drinking. It is actually from this race. So they give you this nice beer I don't use it for beer. I'm using it for lemon lime water. But they give you this nice glass in the beer garden to take home with you. So that was nice. I didn't drink the beer, but I did get the glasses and I brought those home with me. Thank you very much. But yeah, I like this race. It's well organized. The medals were dope. I didn't have any complaints on this one. The post-race festival was great. I thought they put together a great event. So if you're looking to knock Delaware off your list, definitely check out the Delaware Marathon Running Festival. Next up is the Hartford Marathon. Now, this race I actually really enjoyed. This medal, it was really cute. I don't know what this is, forgive me, Hartford residents, but it is a monument in Hartford. But yeah, I thought they put a lot of thought into the medal. It was good. Packet pickup, I drove into the race the morning of, so it's in the tri-state area. I think they do mail-in. I'm not sure. Double check that on their website. But I had a friend pick up my race packet for me because I knew I wasn't going to make it in time for that. The race was, really good. I was running really great this year, so I thought I was going to do well. But this course is pretty hilly. So if you're like me and don't like a hilly course, this one may not be the race for you. But they do put on a really good event. The post-race festival was nice. There was hot food. I like my food. The food was hot. There was hot drinks. I just think they did a really great job all around. For 2020, the race is 100% virtual. It's coming up pretty soon. And the race fee is only $25, which is donated in full to the event's race charities, which supports urgent local needs. So I think if you like doing virtual races, this is actually a pretty good one to sign up for, and definitely give it a shot if you like virtuals and you're interested in doing a Hartford half. But I definitely recommend this race when we start racing in person again. It was a great one for me to do. Number 7 on my list is the Charleston Marathon, and this race was actually really good because I have family in Charleston, so it's always great when I get to go to a city and visit my family. I did this one in January of 2019, and it was chilly in Charleston in January, so keep that in mind. Charleston is, usually pretty warm, but in January is winter. It is cold in Charleston. If you're flying into the Charleston airport, it is a teeny tiny airport. From the gate, you can see the curb. So yeah, it's like a pretty good experience flying through there and getting out of there. You don't have to get there super early because the airport is small. There's not a lot of people in there, and it's just easy to get in and out of that airport. I don't believe there was a race day packet pickup because I had a family member pick up my packet for me. This is like an ongoing thing with me. I have a family or friends pick up packets for me. So I'm pretty lucky in that regard. The start of the race was in a neighborhood by a local school, and the school was actually open, so we were able to stay inside that school, stay warm. There were bathroom facilities. It was really good, and that's great because in New York we don't have none of that. There's no schools open. They don't let you in the schools. They don't let you use the bathrooms. You have to use your bathrooms before you get to the race or use a porta potty. So I like it that these races that are in different states from mine, have these little amenities that we don't have here, and a school is not really an amenity, but at a race, a warm place and an indoor bathroom is a great amenity to have. So I really enjoyed the course. It was nice. It was scenic. It ran through the Citadel in Charleston. So, I probably could have had a better time if I didn't stop and take so many pictures and video. But, it was my first time running through the city. So it was just nice for me to take the sights in. And that's my thing about me and running. I never became a older onset age runner to run for speed. I run for the joy of it. I'm not running for time, not winning any money at this. So I just run for fun. And for me, these trips help me see a side of this country that I would never see. Because when are you ever going to run through the downtown of any city? Quite honestly, you probably won't do it. So, it's just an for me to see things from a runner perspective, which is a bonus and it is a joy for me. One thing that I didn't enjoy about running through, every time, my family's from South Carolina, so I've gone to Charleston quite often. But when, you go to downtown Charleston, there's just like a little bit of a funk over the city because you see those like plantation style homes. When we were there, we ran by churches that, they have the placards on the wall saying this was the site of the Underground Railroad. So it's just something comes over me, and I just feel the history and the moments that happen in these homes. I mean, you knew that there were slaves in these homes at one time. So it's just like a little eerie feeling for me. And I don't know if others feel this as well, but it's just something running through places like that. And just one of the reasons why I really don't like to go to downtown Charleston when I visit. I stay in the country with my family. So yeah, I don't like to see the slave blocks where where they were auctioned off. That's in downtown Charleston. And it's just something different running through cities like that. But it was good scenery. Other than that, it was by the water. You saw the Citadel. It was nice. And they had a great post-race festival. It was, I don't know where it was. It was a little outside of downtown. It was near the water, but they had shrimp and grits. And I am probably the only Black person that you'll meet that does not like grits. And I don't care how your mama makes it. I don't care how much butter she puts it in. I don't care if she puts sugar in it. I don't like the taste of grits. They are disgusting. Don't kill me, but I don't like it. I've tasted it. People say, try it this way, try that. I don't like the taste of grits. It's like avocado. You either like avocado or you don't. I don't like grits, so I ate the shrimp out of the grits. I threw the grits out. But they have food trucks there to purchase food. I think there was beer as well. I don't quite remember. I think they had beer as well, but don't quote me on that. But yeah, I thought the festival was nice. The only thing that I don't like is that it was a point-to-point race, so we had to wait for a bus to take us back to the start line, which was 13 miles away, to get back to my car. So that's the only thing that I didn't like about the race. But other than that, I would recommend you run Charleston. They have a half and a marathon, and they put on a pretty good race. So it gets my check. It gets my stamp of approval. Okay, people, we're almost done. Next up, number 9 on my list is the race in Atlanta, Georgia, and it is called The Race. I'm sorry for you guys watching this, but it won't focus on this race medal. Maybe because it's just so beautiful. So you see the red, black, and green, the Pan-African colors. So this is a race. It's called The Race in Atlanta. It's for us, by us. This is a Black-owned and operated race. The race director is Black. The creators of this race are Black. So this is 2020 would have been its 3rd year running. It was virtual this year. 2018 was year 1 of the race, and they actually started off the race with a Kickstarter program. So many people donated to the race, and the amount donated was actually put toward your race registration fee. So some of you know, many of you don't, but I have a company called Run the Soul, and we plan runcations, running and vacation at the same time. We're not doing any of that right now, of course, due to COVID, but Run the Soul, we contributed big to their first year, and we were, a part of that building of the legacy. So I like this race. I've done it for the past 2 years in person. And this race is great because it's a 3-day weekend. It starts on Thursday. So they have a welcome party on Thursday. They have Friday expo. The expo is actually Thursday and Friday. So they have the expo on Friday, and there's entertainment throughout this expo and race. It is probably one of the better expos that you are going to attend. It's not huge, but it's quality vendors. All Black-owned businesses are there, and it's just a good time. It's nice to be around a bunch of Black folks running. We don't see. I'm the minority. I travel a lot to run, and I'm one of not many that look like me at the race. So it's nice to go to a race and see all of your people, and it's like it's the run family reunion of the year for Black people. So that's one of the reasons why I really enjoy the race. Now, if you have run in Atlanta before, Atlanta is not easy to run in. It is hilly. So if you don't like hills, this race is not for you. It is a nonstop up and down, up and up some more and down. It is very hilly race. But that's part of the fun, and you already know that going into Atlanta. So every time I run in Atlanta, I say, why do I put myself through this torture? And I keep doing it again and again. I'm like, that's what a crazy part. That's the definition of crazy, right? So yeah, I've run in Atlanta, not only this race, other races as well. Atlanta is like my second home. I'm always there. So it makes sense that I keep running this race. Like I said previously, it was a virtual for this year. We don't know if it's coming back. I'm sure it's coming back in next year. We don't know if it's going to be virtual or not, as we don't know with many races, but keep the race on your list of must-dos if you need to run the state of Georgia. And although it's a Black owned and operated race, it's not just for Black folks. If you're another race, come on down and run with us as well. We welcome everyone. So don't bring your whole doggone family, but a few of you can come to the race. But yeah, all are welcome, and just come and have a good time and see what it's like to get down and party with some Black folks and just enjoy yourself at this race. It is a goodie. Now, I mentioned in the last race that I have a company called Run the Soul, and we do runcations. So this is one of our runcations that we did for like 3 years straight, and it is Run Barbados. And I love Barbados, and I love doing this race weekend. Now, the races start on Friday. They have a fun mile which runs through downtown Barbados at nighttime. It starts at 8 o'clock, so it's like pitch black. You got all these people running through downtown Barbados, and it's freaking awesome. On Saturday, they have the 5K and the 10K. And I did this one 2016, 2017, and 2018. But in 2016, I did 3 races. So I did the 5K that year, and they give all of their medals are really, really nice. I also did the 10K that year. I actually did 4 races, not 3. Your girl can't count right now. And the half marathon. Where's my half marathon? Okay, I'm missing the half marathon medal. I don't know where it is. I did the half marathon as well. I can't find the medal, but I did the half marathon. And if you do they have 3 different challenges: the gold challenge, the silver challenge, and the bronze challenge. You get a great bonus medal. So this one was for the silver challenge. That's why the medal is silver. For the gold challenge, if you do the marathon and 2 other events, you get the gold medal. And the bronze medal is, I don't know, I think it's for the 1 mile and the 5K and the half. So it's a great marathon weekend. It's great for a runcation, just to get away, to run, and to have. Listen, Barbados is damn near South America. It is hot. So you're going to get your tan on, girls and guys. But the race starts at 5 a.m. in the morning. So this is the half marathon and marathon on Sunday. It starts at 5 a.m. It is pitch black that morning, and you start at 5 a.m. to beat the heat. It is hot in Barbados. So it is it's great to start that early. So if you're like a 2.5 marathoner like me, you're done by like 7:30, and the sun is coming up like 6:30. It's hot at 6:30. It is hot in Barbados, so keep that in mind when you're running there. But the Saturday races, the 5K and the 10K, those start at 4 p.m. I believe. So it's like right around sunset time, so it's not that bad, and you're coming back, the sun is set. So yeah, I really like this marathon weekend. It's put on by a family in Barbados. It's very well organized. They take care of us when we go, because we come with a group of people, and I just love to show support to this race and this island. It's kind of like become a second well, third home. Atlanta's my second home. Barbados will be my third home. But yeah, I just love that race. If you're looking to do an international race when it's warm, it's in the beginning of December. So it's a great time to get away, like right before the holidays, Christmas. So I definitely recommend you check out Run Barbados. It didn't happen this year, of course, due to COVID, but hopefully it'll be back in December of 2021. Okay, last and certainly not least, I just want to give an honorable mention to this race because New York Road Runners is kind of in the shits right now, so I don't really want to promote them. But I've done this race quite a few times, and it is the Brooklyn Half Marathon. And you know what? If you want to come to New York and do a half marathon, Brooklyn Half is the one to do. You know, Brooklyn Half is the biggest half marathon in the States. It's like, I don't know, 40,000 people, something ridiculous like that. But, you know, I'm giving it an honorable mention because it is such a huge race and I've done it like 5 times. Why did I do it like 5 times? You know, it was good in the beginning because it starts on Eastern Parkway, you know, and then it goes down, I forget the name of the streets, but it ends up in Prospect Park. You run around the park, you come out the park, you run down O'Shea Avenue, and it finishes on the boardwalk in Coney Island, which is kind of epic. It's nice to come from out of state and do that for the first time. I've done it so many times that it's just old to me right now. So, you know, I'm not super excited about it anymore. But if you're coming from out of state or if you haven't done a half marathon before, then I think the Brooklyn Half is a good one to do because it's pretty flat the entire way. The only part that is a little bit hilly is when you're in the park, and it's really not that bad. And for someone who hates hills to say it's not that bad, then it's really not that bad. But yeah, definitely check out Brooklyn Half Marathon if you're looking to do a half marathon in the state of New York. All right, so I hope you enjoyed my little breakdown of my top 10 favorite races to run. Hopefully, you know, I know this year has been crazy and racing has been canceled, but hopefully we can get back to some sort of running in 2021. And if you take up my recommendations, please let me know how you liked it. You know, you can @ me on Instagram, Straight Kim, STR8KIM, or at The Run Wave on Instagram. They're both me. I'll answer The Run Wave or Straight Kim. Ain't no interns over here. All the DMs come to me. So let me know how you enjoy these races. If you're going to participate in the virtuals, let me know how that went. How's the swag for the races, the shirts, the medals. You know, I'm all about, you know, the bling. It's part of racing. We get the bling. But yeah, thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Runway Podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. And I don't know, I said that we would get back to in-person interviews, but it's just hard right now. I don't know if I want to take the risk of meeting with people in person, you know, with COVID still going on. It's just, it's a balancing act, and I'm trying to figure out how to do it. So I hate doing the Zoom interviews, but I may have to go back to doing the Zoom interviews. Y'all might be getting sick of hearing my voice, but y'all still here, so y'all not sick of hearing my voice. But yes, thank you again for tuning into the show. Don't forget to like the show, subscribe to the show, and if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, scroll down to the bottom and please rate the show 5 stars. It helps me, you know, it helps to recommend the show to other people, and it helps this little runway to move up the charts. Last week we had listeners in Tanzania. How crazy is that? But you know, Japan as well. It's like, it's crazy. The runway is growing, y'all. So grow with me, and you know, let's keep this ride going. So thank you again for tuning in, and I will catch you on the next one. Later. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. Be sure to subscribe to The Runway on your favorite podcast app and leave us a review of the show on Apple Podcasts. It would really help me out. If you are a runner that has a story to tell and you would like to be on the show, you can email hello@therunwave.com or send us a DM on Instagram to The Run Wave. See you next time.